do you think will Devi choose in the end? Will Kamala get married to Prashant? And when can we expect the third season? Keep watching to find out. Season 2 of Never Have I Ever was a wild ride, to say the least. We binged it in one sitting and fell in love with all the characters once again. The series skyrocketed into Netflix's top 10 as soon as it dropped, and is sitting at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the fans loved it as well, and are already asking for more. One fan tweeted, "Never have I ever better get renewed for season 3, or I'm gonna be so upset." Another said, "Okay, so I finally finished the new season of Never Have I Ever, and surely we are due for season 3. It can't be left like this." We can't agree more, since we are in need as well. What will happen next? The resolving of the love triangle. The season ended with many things that desperately need continuation. Even though the last episode served us with some Paxton and Devi endgame realness, we know it's not promised. It might have ended happily for Devi, as she is now proudly wearing the Paxton Hall Yoshida's girlfriend title, but not so happy for Ben. When Eleanor spills the beans to him and tells him that Devi was actually going to choose him instead of Paxton, he is left beyond confused and shocked. He had a very real chance with Devi up until recently, and after the meaningful speech and stare at the toilets they shared, we are pretty sure Ben still has some feelings for her. On the other hand, there's still Anisa. Anisa is new, fresh, cool, and near perfect, but at the same time, she is not Devi. As soon as Anisa messed up, we saw that maybe Ben was just looking for Devi 2.0 in her. Yes, he could stay with Anisa, but we don't think he will, since he and Devi have years of pent-up rivalry and something very special. But is Ben going to fight for Devi? There is a strong possibility. Surely, there are lots of feelings mixed up in his head. Jared Lucen, who plays Ben, said this in an interview when asked about next season. The biggest question now, where do we go from here? With Ben's relationship with Anisa and Ben's relationship with Devi, and just peeling back some of his layers and showing some more of that vulnerability. Ben will have to take some serious emotional journeys and make some big decisions. And what we would definitely love to see is some actual relationship between Devi and Paxton. That's a whole undiscovered ground for them. And we are not the only ones. Darren Barnett, who plays Paxton, spoke about his hopes for season 3 in an interview. "I would just love to see how it plays out with them being together as an exclusive couple. That's going to bring on a whole new set of challenges, and I think there's a lot more to explore." His co-star, Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, who plays Devi, also shared her expectations and what she would love to see for Devi in the upcoming season. "It'll be really cool to see Devi in a proper relationship because we technically never really have. It was a two-timing situation, and as Dr. Ryan and Eleanor say, that doesn't count. That's not real. She has 0 boyfriends, so it is going to be cool to see her as a girlfriend. That new relationship in her life that she's never had before." We might be getting loved up Devi and Paxton, at least at the beginning of the season. So strap yourselves in, guys. Yes, the relationship between them started messily, and while they became better friends this season, they are still strangers in some areas. There's a lot more for Devi to learn about Paxton, for Paxton to learn about himself, and for Devi to learn about herself, said Darren. And when that all comes to fruition, who knows? They may fall in love, or realize they're better as friends, or absolutely hate each other. So you never really know. Well, that is suggesting many things. We don't know how Devi acts in a proper relationship, and we don't know how Paxton is in a proper relationship either. So no one can definitely say their endgame. This triangle is nowhere near over, since Devi is set on Paxton because she can't have Ben. And when Ben potentially lashes out, there is a chance that the boys might be the ones fighting for Devi's heart. In the second season, she was busy chasing them, but in the third, the tables might turn around. Yes, she has Paxton, but Ben is still there for her. But on the other hand, we must remember one thing. He is still dating Anisa. Do you think Ben will break up with Anisa, or do you think of them as an endgame? We will see more of Anisa. Speaking of her, what do you think season 3 has in store for her? Anisa got introduced to us only in this season, but we absolutely fell in love with her. She's so cool. What we really wish for is maybe to see the world a little bit from her point of view. We don't know much about her, and there is a whole Anisa universe we have yet to explore. But we would like her to become better friends with Devi. Yes, we know these two had their misunderstandings, big time, but we want to see them be besties. Fingers crossed, we might even get an Anisa episode, since she has mingled her way into the main love triangle. When asked in an interview, Megan Suri, who plays Anisa, said she would love to have an Anisa episode narrated by Pedro Pascal. That would be simply iconic. But what are the actress's plans for Season 3 with Anisa? I would be elated if Anisa is brought back in Season 3 and has her own journey, and we could see a little more into her life. I hope that she definitely gets that Ben situation figured out, because I don't know how I feel about that. See, we are all in the same boat here, and that is that we need the love triangle to be resolved for good. Nalini will have her own romance. Even Devi's mom, Nalini, has found herself caught up in a romance. She was truly set on moving back to India, but thankfully, she stayed and could properly connect with Dr. Chris Jackson. We have to say, the slight enemies to lovers she served with the Dr. Jackson was chef's kiss. They had so much potential. Also, the chemistry between them was just insane. And even though Nalini and Devi are still grieving from their loss, we think Chris deserves a chance. Nalini deserves to have someone to take care of her and celebrate her like the absolute queen she is. Do you think these two will reconnect in the next season? Or do you think there could be someone else for Nalini? Let us know in the comments. Kamala won't get engaged. The relationship drama was running in the family this season. We saw Kamala struggle not only in her terrible and toxic work environment, but also in her love life. Her boyfriend Prashant moved to America to live with her and to potentially start a life and family together as soon as possible. But from what we saw, this is not what Kamala wants. She ran away from it in India, and now she's facing the same thing in the USA. Prashant seems to have old-fashioned opinions, especially when it comes to the workplace Kamala was working at. So, when the hint of possible engagement got mentioned during the dinner with Prashant's parents, she did what she had to do. She ran away, and that opened a whole new door for her in the third season. We can see that in the end, she arrived at the teacher's party where she was invited by Manish, Devi's English teacher. These two interacted only briefly, but God, they would be adorable together. They seem to have chemistry between them already. Would you like to see a possible romance between Manish and Kamala? Or do you think she could return to Prashant, talk it out, and get married? To be honest, we don't think so. Kamala deserves to be the decider of her own future, and putting her in this situation at the dinner probably scared her for good. Well, Season 3 will let us know how she will choose. Will we see more of Fabiola's relationship? Oh, our lovely Fabiola! She went through a lot this season, especially with her relationship and how people perceive it. We loved Fabiola's speech at the end about feeling alienated in the community. Ever since Eve and her friend Sasha have low-key tried to make her someone she's not. Feeling alienated in the community you're supposed to feel safest in is a common feeling among queer people. We liked that in the end, Fabiola stayed true to herself and came to the stage in the robotics outfit. That's who she is, and that's who we love. And not only we, but after the declaration, so does Eve. But what could Season 3 have in store for her? Since she finally let her mom and Eve meet, we would love to see all three of them bonding. Eve's mom was over the moon to finally meet her daughter's girlfriend, so we know it would be adorable if they all hang out. But at the same time, we've only seen bits and pieces of their relationship. We want a deeper insight. And even Lee Rodriguez, the actress who plays Fabiola, agrees. I want to see her more comfortable. I want to see her in her element and see what her relationship with Eve looks like. Them hanging out, what they do, going on a date? I would love to see more of that. She also says that she would be into the exploration of Fabiola's vulnerable side. We can't wait to see that. Eleanor's future. In this season, Eleanor gets tangled in a messy situation, to say the least. Malcolm was literally a piece of manipulative trash, and their relationship was toxic on so many levels. It was terrible to see Eleanor with someone who seemed to have a master's degree in gaslighting. The breakup was inevitable, but it was good for one thing. Eleanor finally got closer to her stepmom, Sharon. So, in the third season, we better see Eleanor happy. In the first season, it was her own mom who broke her heart. In the second, it was Malcolm. So for the third season, our OTP is Eleanor and happiness. We would like to see her focus on her acting career and hobbies, but most importantly, we want to see her prosper. Confirmation of next season. So far, the third season hasn't been confirmed. But the way the ratings are moving and the fans are raving about the second season, we are pretty sure we will be getting the announcement about the third season very soon. So Mindy Kaling and Lang Fisher, the creators of the show, better sit down and start drafting more incredible stories for our faves. Release date: Since we haven't gotten any confirmation on the third season yet, we are expecting it to arrive in our subscription boxes at the end of 2022, or in the first quarter of 2023. We know that it will definitely be worth the wait. So, are you excited for Season 3 of Never Have I Ever? And is there someone who you would like to see more of? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching!